a little bit more for Microsoft Teams to actually work and recording to start. Okay, so let me go back to the chat, sort of transcript. All right, so I think Microsoft Teams also have the built-in transcript that allowed us to basically record what I say, and hopefully I say the right word and with the proper pronunciation in a way that they actually record the right text. All right, but so welcome to ComArch at VISTEC. This is basically the third time I'm teaching here. Every time I'm teaching, I get fewer and fewer students. So I'm not sure how that is going to work going forward. Hopefully we get like more than one people taking this class. I got 2 emails from students saying, hey, I would like to sit in, which kind of hinting me that maybe my assignments is like way too hardcore. But yeah, you're welcome to sit in. If you have any friend from your lab that would like to sit in as well, just tell them to sit in here. It's fine. Just join the lecture. Send them the link. It's okay. All right, I don't mind. All the videos of the lecture will be uploaded on YouTube. You should be able to watch the video maybe 1 or 2 days after I'm done teaching. If I have not uploaded the video, I just simply forgot. Send me an email, and just remind me. All right, I don't mind at all. I just I'm forgetful. Like I have too many things to do at once, and sometimes I just forget. All right. So today we'll cover what is computer architecture, and we'll kind of dive a little bit deeper into what happens when you run a program. All right. But before we begin, there are 2 things I would like you to make sure you enroll into. First is our class website. So let me actually pull up my the text on the slide here, so I can copy you the link on the chat. So I'm gonna copy the link on the chat here. You can see the link in 3, 2, 1. Here. Just click on the link. It should basically direct you to Canvas, and you can sign up to get an account. Make sure that you put in your full name at some point so I know who you are. We will basically put all the resource in the website. We'll put all the lectures. We'll put all the recommended readings. We also have the Discord link, which I will also, give me a second. I'll put it on the chat as well, so you can just click on that here. Basically, I've been using this Discord server for the ComArch class at IST for basically 2 semesters now. Everything that you would like to ask me, you can ask the question over there. You can also email me. I don't mind at all. Just some way to contact me. A quick disclaimer, because I still have like 1.5-year-old daughter. My time when I respond to these like emails and Discord question, it's gonna be a little bit weird because these days I work at 5 a.m. in the morning, and then I stop working. I stop sending emails at like 8:30. So yeah, that's my schedule. There'll be some days that I'll reply at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Sometimes I have meetings at night. I mean, just me. I will try to check as often as possible, but there might be also the bursty period where I cannot reply to a lot of questions. All right. If they're important thing, like for example, you have a paper deadline and say, hey, can I push this assignment forward a little bit? I'm totally okay with that because you're a graduate student. Sometimes you have paper deadlines, and I totally understand the time crunch that you have to put into your project, right? Prioritize your research project. That'd be your first priority. Here's the second priority, which is learn. All right. Okay, there's a quick notice that we have the 0 review. Basically, this is an article called The Miracle Machine. I would like everyone to watch the video. It's a 30 minutes talk. That is a really, really good talk, and it's actually kind of go over why are we basically doing research, and what's the importance of trying to find the questions that sometimes doesn't even have the answer yet on what are we doing it for, and why has this been kind of driving humanity for the past, say, 200 years, right? We also will have a list of recommended readings. If you go to reviews, I have a link to another things inside the class website called the page. Inside the page, there's the first page there is a reading list. Basically, that's the only page I have on the class website. I list a lot of papers that I find interesting and fundamental. By fundamental, it means it kind of shape and give you a good background over for certain topics that we cover in class. And with this, right, it kind of allows you to essentially go over all the topics we learned in depth through this paper. I'll try to pick the papers that are easy to read. I'll pick the paper that are basically having a really solid background section, assuming that you have a somewhat limited background in architecture. So hopefully these are more like newcomer friendly. All right, so a little bit more admin stuff, right? Who am I? I'm a lecturer, assistant professor at TGGS. It's kind of like a joint program between Thai and Germany. It's at KMUTNB. I graduated from Carnegie Mellon under my advisor Onum Butlu. I work on diverse range of topics from GPU, virtual memory, and system design, but more on the hardware side. Basically, how do I design the hardware? And a little bit of the system software so that people can run their computer in a more either higher performance, lower energy, or easier to use. I have interned at MD Research and Video Research, Intel Lab, VMware Research. So if you have any questions about, hey, what's the experience working as an intern, but not at the product team, but at the research team, if you have any of these questions, feel free to ping me. I did have one patent back in 2014 with AMD on the topic that spawned from my first paper at ISCA. I work on virtual memory GPU design, as I said, accelerators, processing and memory, network on chips. I actually don't know if I have this third bullet point. It's like the same as this bullet point. Sorry about that. Oh, yeah, actually, let me connect to my tablet so I can write on my screen. Give me a second. You can see my website there as well. You can reach me through my email. So this email work. So if you have the @TGGS, this email would get through. I can access that account. There's another separate email that I have that is just @kmutnb.ac.th, not this email. That was like a black hole. I cannot access them. So don't email there. So if you email there, I will not see it. All right. You can also use, if you have my Gmail contact, feel free to use my Gmail account. I don't mind because it basically redirects to the same account. I have office hours upon request. So if you would like to ask about certain thing in depth, feel free to let me know, contact me so we can schedule additional meetings. All right. Now it's time for you because there's only 5 of you. So let's introduce yourself. So who want to go first? Basically, here's the question. What's your name? What do you want out of VISTEC? What can they provide to you? Then be honest, because, well, just assume Ajahn Suchai is not here. Just assume he's not here, all right? You can say whatever you want. Be honest. What do you want out of the class? And are there any topics that you want to learn more in this semester? All right, who want to go first? Okay, I'll just go with the order I see here. น้องกรณ์ครับ because you're the first name here. All right, come on, speak up.
Okay ครับ Okay my name is อุทิกร พรวิทยารัตน์ You can call me ก่อน I'm from lab อาจารย์สรณะ My research topic is NLP field. Do you know NLP?
Yeah, natural language processing.
Yes. Okay. What do for the question, what do you want out of VISTEC? now I don't know
All right, that's okay. It's okay to not have an answer yet.
okay
But why do you pick VISTEC over other universities? There has to be a reason, right?
Because I interested AI and and natural language processing is use technique from AI to improve performance. Yes.
Actually, let me ask you guys this question. Would it be easier to do this in Thai? จะตอบภาษาไทยไหมครับ
โอเคได้ครับ
มันอาจจะลื่นไหลกว่านะเพราะฉะนั้นเพราะว่าผมอยากได้คำตอบที่ honest. So basically, I want an honest answer. It feels like it is much easier to basically go with your native language on these kind of questions. ตอบเลยภาษาไทยคำตอบคำถามต่อไปอยากได้อะไรจากคลาสนี้ครับ
อยากได้อะไรจากคลาสนี้โอเคก็ด้วยส่วนตัวแล้วผมจบคอมเอนจิเนียร์ใช่ไหมครับซึ่งจริงๆแล้วพื้นฐานผมมาจากสายฮาร์ดแวร์มากกว่าอย่างผมชอบแบบเรื่อง IoT พวกนั้นแล้วก็เรื่องอะไรนะควอนตัมคอมพิวติ้งพวกนั้นครับแล้วก็ซูเปอร์คอมพิวเตอร์พวกนั้นเอาจากแล้วก็เลยอยากรู้ลึกๆเกี่ยวกับคอมอาร์คิเทคเจอร์มากขึ้นแต่ว่าแน่นอนว่ายุคนี้ AI มาแรงก็ต้องมาทำ AI เหมือนกันครับโอเคครับ
โอเคครับคนต่อไปที่อยู่ในชื่อเรียงบนลงล่างเลยมีน้องฟิลครับจอดำไม่เป็นไรพูดได้นะไม่เป็นไรผมโอเค
เป็นอังกฤษหรือว่าเป็นไทยครับ
เป็นไทยก็ได้เป็นไทยได้หรือว่าอยากอังกฤษก็ได้หมด
เอาไทยก่อนแล้วกันครับผมชื่อลวิโรจน์ทองดีนะครับชื่อว่าฟิลนะครับผมก็คำถามแรกก็คือที่ผมเลือกวิเทคก็เพราะว่ามันน่าจะดีครับมันน่าจะดีใช่ แล้วก็ที่ผมอยากได้จากคลาสนี้ก็คือจริงๆผมจบวิศวะคอมจากลาดกระบังมาครับก็ผมก็เรียนสายคอมมานี่แหละครับก็เป็นฮาร์ดแวร์แต่จริงๆผมชอบเน็ตเวิร์กมากกว่านะครับแบบเน็ตเวิร์กจ๋าๆแล้วก็พอมาทำกับพวกซูเปอร์คอมครับมันก็ใช้ทั้งสองศาสตร์เลยฮะก็คือเน็ตเวิร์กด้วยทั้งอาร์คิเทคเจอร์ด้วยฮะก็อยากลงลึกๆเกี่ยวกับพวก architecture ด้วยครับเพราะว่าแบบที่เรียนมาก็เป็นแบบ ARM อย่างเดียวอะไรเงี้ยครับ
แล้วน้องฟิลอยู่แลบไหนเอ่ย
อยู่แลบอาจารย์สุชาครับแลบเนี่ย
อยู่แลบพี่ปะโอ้นี่ขอละแลบมาคุมนะอาจารย์บัฟบอกว่าให้แอดซูมมาไม่ได้นั่งอยู่ตรงนี้อันนั้นพูดอะไรก็ได้เปิดจกดดันโอเคครับขอน้องแซนต่อเลยครับ
ฮัลโหลครับได้ยินไหมฮะ
ได้ยินครับ
ผมก็สวัสดีครับผมชัดดานายค่ะชื่อทหารนะฮะก็คือเรียกผมแซนเลยฮะเป็นชื่อเล่นก็คือถามว่าอันหนึ่งคือผมมาจากแลบต่อของแลบอาจารย์ธีรวิทย์ฮะกับอาจารย์มุ้งครับผมแล้วก็ถามว่าผมได้จากวิเศษคือถ้าตอนแรกอะครับผมยังไม่ได้เข้ามาที่ผมก็แบบโอเคก็ยังไม่ได้คาดหวังอะไรเพราะผมแค่รู้สึกว่าที่วิเศษเขามีแบบฟาซิลิตี้มีรีซอสในการทำวิจัยเยอะค่อนข้างสูงอะฮะแต่พอมาอยู่ที่นี่ผมก็รู้สึกว่าผมอยากได้ร้านข้าวเพิ่มอีกสักร้านหนึ่ง
อยากได้ร้านข้าวเนี่ยอันเนี้ยเดี๋ยวพอดีผมพูดเลยมีอาจารย์วิทเทคนั่งอยู่ตรงนี้พอดีเลยอ่ะคือผมรู้สึกว่าตั้งแต่สอนมา3 เทอมนะมันเป็นมีมไปแล้วอ่ะว่าแบบถ้าผมจะโจ๊กอะไรที่วิทเทคคือแม่งมีร้านข้าวร้านเดียวป้านะจำไม่ได้
พวกคุณนก
ป้าที่เขาแบบทำกับข้าวตามใจเขาเลยอ่ะคือเรานั่นคือเราเป็นชีวิตเดียวของเขาแล้วอ่ะคือมีแค่เนี้ยป้ามีอะไรให้กินวันนั้นคือเรากินได้แค่นั้น โอเค อยากได้ร้าน
ครับผม
ข้าวนะครับ จากวิสเทค
ใช่
โอเค อยากได้อะไรอีกครับ นอกจากนี้จากคลาสเรา ดีๆ เราควรจะ lighten up นะครับคำตอบแบบนี้ผมก็ได้เหมือนกัน
ก็ว่าก็คือก็คือเหมือนกับว่าคือเดิมทีคือผมจบวิศวะไฟฟ้ามาฮะแล้วตามตรงก็คือผมถามว่าผมถนัดอะไรมากกว่าผมรู้สึกว่าผมชอบทางด้านฮาร์ดแวร์มากกว่าแต่ซอฟต์แวร์เนี่ยเป็นทุนเดิมอยู่แล้วผมก็เลยรู้สึกว่าผมก็อยากมาลองเรียนรู้เพิ่มเติม อยากลองเรียนให้มันลึกกว่าเดิมดูว่า จากที่เดิมทีผมนั่งเรียนแค่แบบนั่งเรียนแค่เรื่องชิปนั่งเรียนแค่แบบนั่งเรียนโฮแครี่การทำทรานซิสเตอร์ทำอะไรอย่างเงี้ยครับผมอยากลองให้มันไปมากกว่านี้ใช่
อ๋อโอเคคืองั้นแปลว่าน้องแซนจะรู้ RTL ประมาณหนึ่งใช่ไหมแบบแอดเดอร์หน้าตาเป็นไง
อ่าครับผมใช่ครับ
โอเค
แต่ว่า
เรื่อง
น้อยหน่อย
พวกนี้ผมจะไม่สอนในคลาสนี้นะเพราะว่าเผื่อน้องมาจาก CS เราจะไม่กล้าลงลึกอันนั้น แต่ว่าถ้ารู้พวกนี้มาจริงๆอ่ะมันเอาไปทำต่อไปได้ไกลมากเลยจากที่เราเรียน เพราะเราจะเป็นสแต็กขึ้นมาอีกหน่อยหนึ่งโอเคครับเดี๋ยวเราแล้วคำถามสุดท้ายที่มันยังไม่มีใครพูดถึงก็คืออยากได้ท็อปิกอะไรก็คือหลังไมค์มาได้นะครับโอ
ได้เลยค
เครับ
ขอบ
เหลื
คุ
อ
ณค
ใคร
รับ
อีกเอ่ยน้องเบฟ
ครับ ก็ขออภัยสำหรับคอสตูมผมนะครับ ครับ ก็ผมชื่อวรเมธ พดุงเจริญครับ ชื่อเล่นก็
โอเค
เบฟครับ อย่างที่ รับรู้กันไป ก็เหตุผลที่ผมเลือกวิสเทคก็คือ ที่นี่โพรไวหลายๆสิ่งหลายๆอย่าง น่าจะคล้ายๆกับคนอื่นก็คือให้มากที่สุดในไทยแล้วกันนะครับ
ให้เงินเดือน
ในมุ
นะ
มอ่า
เนี่ย
ก็
หมายถึงอะไรเงิน
ป
เดื
ระ
อน
มาณ
หรื
ห
อ
นึ่งครับ เงินเดือน
resource
ด้วย
หรือ lab
facility หรือแบบทุนวิจั
facility
ย
โอเค
ใช่ครับ แล้วก็อีกอย่างหนึ่งก็คือผมเคยอินเทอร์นทำงานให้กับอาจารย์บักมาก่อน ผมก็เลยรู้สึกเป็นเกียรติครับ ครับสองอย่างนี้ก็เลยรู้สึกว่า มาเติมเต็มสร้างผลงาน ให้ที่นี่ก็น่าจะดีครับ
อืมดี
ครับ ส่วนสิ่งที่อยากได้จากคลาส ผมอยากจะได้ความรู้ของอาร์คที่ผมไม่ชัวร์ว่าอาจารย์จะสอนของ x86 หรือเปล่าครับ แต่ว่าถ้าใช่ผมก็น่าจะอาชีพในสิ่งนั้นของผม เพราะว่าตอนที่ผมอยู่เกษตร อาจารย์ของผมเขาสอน Lit 5นะครับ
อ๋อจริงๆผมจะโฟกัสที่ MIPS ผมยังไม่คิดว่าเราควรจะไปถึง RISC-V ด้วยแหละเอาจริงๆ ก็คือเอาให้เบสิกมันfoundation อะถ้า foundation เราแข็งแรงแล้วอะซึ่งถ้าเพิ่งเริ่มจริงๆ เริ่มจาก MIPS มัน simple กว่าการที่จะ apply ไปกับ architecture ตัวอื่นอะมันก็คือมันต่อยอดขึ้นมาได้ แล้วถ้าเราจะ discuss x86 อะไรกันต่อเนี่ยก็ได้ ผมก็จะพยายามพูดเท่าที่รู้ คือบางอย่างมันก็จะเป็น internal information บางอย่างก็จะเป็นเรื่องที่ทุกคนรู้กันอะไรเงี้ย แต่ว่า topic ที่เราเรียนก็จะ apply กับ x86 ซะเยอะ
อย่างนั้นก็น่าจะอาชีพความต้องการผมได้อยู่ครับ
ส่วนถ้าอยากรู้แบบ x86 assembly เฉยๆเนี่ย เดี๋ยวผมมีวิดีโอลิงก์ของอีกของที่ผมสอนที่พี่มหิดลของอีกวิชาหนึ่งเดี๋ยวส่งให้ได้ โอเค เหลือน้องแคมน้องคามน้องขอโทษครับ ผมไม่แน่ใจว่าอ่านว่าอะไร
ชื่อแก้มค่ะอาจารย์
แคมใช่ไหมครับ โอเค
แก้ม
สวัสดีครับ แก้ม
สวัสดี
อ๋อโอเค
ค่ะ
แก้มขอ
ค่ะ
โทษ
สวัสดีค่ะหนูชื่อวรรณศิริวรวิทยานนท์นะคะ ชื่อเล่นชื่อแก้มค่ะ มาจากแลบอาจารย์ยุ้งเหมือนแซมค่ะ ก็คือที่หนูเข้าวิสเทคมาด้วยความที่ตอนป.ตรีหนูจบ Biomed Engineer ค่ะ ที่มหิดลแล้วเสร็จแล้วปุ๊บเนี่ยด้วยความที่การเรียนมันเป็นเหมือนมันดูเหมือนไปไม่สุดสักทางอะค่ะหนูก็เลยอยากมาเรียนที่นี่เพื่อจะได้ให้มีความรู้ในด้านหนึ่งที่มันสุดสักทางหนึ่งอะไรพวกนี้เพื่อ apply กับ future career ได้ค่ะ
อ๋อคืออยากเป็น expert
ใช่
ดี
ประมาณนั้นค่ะค่ะ ส่วนสิ่งที่หนูอยากได้จากในคลาสนะคะ ก็คือด้วยความที่ตอนสมัยป.ตรีหนูไม่เคยเรียนลงเกี่ยวกับพื้นฐานทางด้านคอมอาร์คิเทคหรือสตั๊กเจอร์อะไรเลยอะค่ะหนูก็เลยอยากได้ความรู้จากที่นี่ค่ะ ประมาณนั้นค่ะ
โอเค ได้ แต่แก้มกับแซนคือ sit in ใช่ไหมฮะถ้าผมจำไม่ผิด
ใช่ค่ะ
โอเค ก็เข้าไปในคลาสเว็บไซต์ได้เลยนะครับ มันจะมีพวกแบบ PDF ของ lecture โหลดได้ ก็มี assignment ด้วยถ้าอยากเล่น
อันนี้
แต่อันนั้นแล้วแต่ศรัทธาเพราะว่าน้องๆ sit in โอเคครับ All right, so basically that wraps up the introduction. Thank you so much. Is actually, to be honest, because the class size is so small, right? This actually helped me getting to know you guys and kind of like figuring out what labs are you from, what's your focus. So this is great. Also, like it's good that you stress out one information that every single class stress out as well, which is like your limited food option at VISTEC. Maybe at some point they'll fix it. Hopefully, I don't know. So these are well, this is basically rhetorical question I'm gonna ask you next, right? I don't need an answer, but think about it. Like, how much do you know about this terminology? Things like ISA, 5-stage pipeline, data dependency, out of order execution. So if you've been through computer engineering program in Thailand, I'm pretty sure the first 3 bullet points you should kind of at least heard about it. Might have labs on that. The 4th bullet point, you might have heard about that. I'm not sure you're gonna actually go through an example of how out of order execution works, how this modern processor actually is done, because every single modern processor, or most actually, if you count in the GPU doesn't use out of order execution. They use a different set of technique to make it fast, but your CPU, regardless of what brand, what architecture, they would use out of order execution to make it fast. Things like branch prediction, hash, memory hierarchy, DRAM, virtual memory, cache coherency. These are the topics that we're going to cover. I got a request from Ajahn Bak said, for this semester, I'll try to cover RDMA as well. So we'll have that toward the end of the semester. But give me more some studying room to like make the slides and everything. So these will be things that hopefully by the end of this semester you are knowledgeable on, and you can follow through with additional paper readings or whatever to become an expert in these topics. All right. So the goal of this class is this, right? So let me ask you this question. You can raise your hand, you can send emoticons or whatever, right? How many of you assume that the hardware that you're working on right now is like a magic black box? That it works. You buy it and it runs. It runs things. You can write program on that. How many of you assume that assumption? Anyone? Someone's typing. By the way, if you want to ask question in Thai on the chat, it's also okay as well. I mean, I encourage people to ask question. I encourage people to respond and discuss things that we talk about. So whatever language, I'm okay with that. If it's in Thai, I might translate that a little bit because we're supposed to teach in English, right? So that's okay too. So for many people, including many programmer, right, they would buy a computer and assume that this is like a magic thing that worked from the get-go. But here's the thing. That magic is science and engineering, right? And it's actually applied to every single thing we have right now, right? The monitor you see at the back is powered by magic called science, right? Everything we do these days, self-driving car, EV car, a bunch of these tightly interconnected devices called IoT. These are powered by engineering. A lot of engineering works actually go behind it to make it work. A lot of scientific discovery enable the next generation or even more efficient way to build things, right? So if you will, I would like you to think about basically you're a magician trying to invent the next big thing, right? So keep it that way. Hopefully that's one way you can motivate. Why do you want to learn more things so they can build even better things? In this course, we aim to basically try to discover how does my computer, the one I'm using right now, how does it work? What are the key techniques that we use in computer architecture in a way that every generation, when you buy a new chip, when you buy a new computer, it's supposed to be faster, and most of the time it's faster. And why is that the case? What are the trade-offs in hardware design? What are the things that if we know the hardware work in this way, we can rewrite the program in a way that we can become a better programmer and think out of the box. This last bullet point I have on the screen is quite important. So a lot of people would assume that the only thing I can change is the software. I can reprogram. I can rewrite my program. I can modify my program. I can use different library. I can more machine. You can change the hardware too. And the hardware change all the time. The GPU, for example, change every year. One more new year, NVIDIA will come up with a new GPU. AMD will come up with their own new GPU. Every year, AMD and Intel and Apple will come up with their own new CPU. Many phone companies like Qualcomm, Huawei, will come up with their own like mobile chip that are different year by year by year and better, right? Even things like the Google TPU, the tensor processing units, is changing as well. Because every single time, if you break this assumption and say, hey, I can change the hardware, I can actually enable more application to run on the same old computer. Well, not the same old computer, basically new hardware. All right. Cheers, what do I expect from you? To be honest, there's a few assignments, basically 2, that I would like you to do. And then there's a project, right? So you have to kind of work hard to go through all these assignments. There'll be 6 reviews that I want you to do. Basically, you're going to read at least 6 papers and then do hopefully a decent evaluation of these ideas. You should ask questions and participate in discussion, both in class and on the class website if you will. To be honest, on Discord if you want to as well. Talk with your friends. You should be okay with C and Linux. And you should attend lectures and be hardcore. This is a really high level bullet point, but like try to do all the required work. Read papers, learn more, be active, keep learning, right? If you have any paper deadline on your lab that you're working on, let me know so I can push the deadline for you, right? I don't mind pushing the deadline for our class because your research, your own research is way more important than this class, all right? I cross that out, but to be honest, if you have a basic hardware and system background, that helps a lot. And don't copy things without citations. Make sure you make a proper reference. I do not tolerate plagiarism. I hope that by this point you learn what is plagiarism and what's not, and how to actually properly use other people's finding and give them the proper credit. All right. Otherwise, you get an F. Okay. Quick fact. No one ever got an F from my class. I think most people, to be honest, got an A. So I don't think you have to worry too much, at least for folks at VISTEC, all right? I did give an F at other institution. I judge things based on the actual quality of the work, all right? And here's a grading breakdown. Here's my question, because there are only 3 of you, right, that actually enroll in this class as of now. So let me ask you this question. I thought there'll be at least 4. Should we do a group assignment? Originally, I would like to do like a 2-persons group, but since there are only 3 of you, shall we do like 1 group for the whole entire class and make sure that you have all the assignment done? Is that okay? Or anyone want to take like a solo assignment? Or should you guys work in group? All right, I see one emoticon that's like a heart sign. So I cannot tell whether you want to do a solo or do you want to work in group. That's like ambiguous. So be clear. Type on the chat. Just let me know. All right. Right now, let me go with one single group with 3 people in that. For those who are sitting in, feel free to join, so it becomes like 5 people. Make sure that you learn, because if it's a single group for the entire class, what I'm gonna do is we would have a demo rather than an actual grading where I'll take your assignment and grade it. You guys do a demo, I'll ask you a question, and then I'll pick who should answer my question. All right. So that way, I'll try to ensure that everyone learn, and that way, I'll try to ensure that everyone kind of contribute and make sure that you know what you're doing. Because if I ask a question and that person doesn't know, it's kind of telling me, hey, maybe you don't know the component. All right. 20% of the class will be paper review and discussion. Basically, there were 6 reviews in total. It's not a lot of work. I do not expect like a full-blown conference quality review. I just want to get the reflection of what you think. Then the majority of your grade will be based on your project. So this is individual projects, all right? So there's no such thing as a group project for this class. Each one of you would think about things you want to try. I'll go into more detail about these bullet points, all right? And then there'll be 10% midterm, 10% final. There's a reason why I do just 20% total, all right? The whole reason I'm doing this is to make sure that if you kind of getting screwed with this exam, you should still at least get a B, all right? Hopefully it doesn't over penalize your exam too much, but still you should do well on your exam, okay? The review will tell your willingness to learn new ideas. Assignment tell me that you can create something new from what you learn, and the exam kind of see who are the expert about the material and kind of like your final letter grade. Are you getting an A or a B? All right. For the review, there were 6 of them, 3% each, to be honest. The sloppy review doesn't count. And then we'll have a class discussion every time people submit review. I'll try to spare a little bit of time toward the end of the class. If not, we'll do right before the exam. There'll be like a longer review session that basically allow us to kind of go over the papers you read, things that you like, things that you don't like. Basically, these are for sharing. Let your friends know what have you read, what you like about the paper. Should they check it out? All right. You can review as many papers as you like from our reading list. Anything extra is 0.25% of your final grade. All right. The 2% is participation. Basically, attend lecture, ask things you do not understand, ask me question in a private chat is fine. Discuss paper you read in class. I'll pick a random presenter. Well, there's only 3 of you that are actually enrolled, so you guys will take turn, 2 each. Each of you would have to do 2 of them, basically. How to critique papers, basically every single paper, because of the page limit and everything, most, if not all, paper has a flaw, right? So your review should kind of include, first of all, the summary. By the way, don't make this long, all right? Make sure it kind of recap what the paper is about, then pros and cons, advantages, disadvantages, and things that you think that, hey, if I want to improve this further, what can you do? Okay. I'll read all your reviews. I'll try to look at the effort you put into the review, and this kind of give you the background knowledge and the potential idea basically for your projects. It also will, to be honest, improve your technical writing skill. So one thing I learned about the PhD education is let me ask you this question. When you're doing an undergrad, how many times do you care about your own writing? In English writing, during your engineering undergraduate degree? The answer is not a lot, right? If you are taking a TOEFL exam, many of the Thai students would basically go through like a TOEFL class. That helps. But technical writing and TOEFL writing is so different. It's so different. And it actually really helpful to improve your writing skill so that you can basically write a really good technical report and papers and basically allow you to educate your audience about the awesome things that you did in the lab. All right. So writing a good reviews would help with your technical writing skill. By the way, I do see people typing on the chat. Feel free to keep typing and hit enter so I can actually see the text. I know that somehow I go ahead with some of my own answer. I want to hear from you. All right. I want to hear what you think. So I somehow I say things in the video to make sure that I fill in the gap. So it doesn't become like a really weird like silence, right? If you're typing something in, keep typing and hit enter. I don't mind at all. I would like to see what you think. All right. Also don't plagiarize other people's articles. Assignments. You have a few group assignments. There's like 2 group assignments. This 4 that I apply to concept learning class. Generally, you're going to implement part of the simulator that simulate real hardware. Initially, you give like a blank skeleton code that kind of can run. It doesn't do anything. Then you're going to implement some basic features of the single cycle MIPS architecture that we learned in this class. And then your solution from assignment 1 will be used as the starter code for assignment 2. So be careful about error from assignment 1. It's gonna cascade into assignment 2. So make sure you fix all of those. Hopefully this knowledge would help with your project. All right. For your project, everyone is expected to work on one final project. It's 40% of the grade. My expectation is 2 months project. It should be related in some way to things we learned in this class. It's totally okay. It's totally okay to pick a project related to your lab to make sure that your effort that goes into the project is relevant. All right. But you should provide your own contribution. Don't just pull some like base project from the internet and say, hey, that's my project. That's bullshit. Yeah. So please check with me on some ideas on these projects. All right. But think of what's missing from our assignments. Read paper from a top tier venue. By the way, if you haven't noticed already, but this is something that a lot of Thai people, even Thai professors, I'll call it out. They don't know the fact that for computer area, computer science and computer engineering, top tier publication outlet is actually at the technical conference. It's not at the journal. So if you all right, so if your laptop crash, well, yeah, if Microsoft Teams is pulling your resource. Yeah, this is the only option I have right now. I might have WebEx as a possible option soon. When I think in a month, I can update the link if that works a little bit better. But I do notice Microsoft Teams actually do consume a lot of resource. But yeah, so let's resume back to the outlet for good ideas and good computer science, computer engineering research conference. All right. If you heard about any senior professor in Thailand and say, hey, you should submit to XXX something journal, bullshit. That's like the best tier for most of the computer science, computer engineering are all at a technical conference. For computer architecture, ISCA, Micro, Asplot, HPCA are one of the top outlets. This is kind of like the absolute base venue for architecture papers. Doesn't mean that there are no good paper from the second tier venue. All right, there are a lot of really good paper from second tier venue as well. Okay, it just because of the process of getting through this to this publication, it's kind of like there's a pre-filtered list of things. Also, it doesn't mean there's no bad paper from these conferences as well. There are also bad papers from them. That are like when you read, it's like, okay, wait, that's it, right? So read them, go through them. Basically, these are basically what would be the first series of outlets that you would check out. And in there, when you go through the background section and related work section, you kind of expand you into like more papers afterward. All right. You can check out the class website. I'll try to post some ideas. But to be honest, just contact me. I'll try to like throw some ideas that are related to what you're doing and might be relevant to our work and should be okay with a 2 months project. I think my key thing, my key message that I didn't say a lot until now is make sure you can do it in 2 months. Right, I'll make sure that you are not, your project is not too complicated, right? So that you can finish or get some milestone within 2 months. You can also talk with people who have taken this class before. All right, so we have a checkpoint. Early September, basically in a few weeks, we have a project Q&A, followed by a proposal, kind of like mid-September, late September. And then in October, we'll do a project checkpoint. This is basically during our reviews, right before the midterm. The checkpoint basically is like, how's your project? Have you started? If you haven't started, why? If you have started, are you stuck on something, or is it just time management or whatever? This is kind of make sure that you have some progress. Last week of class, we do a project presentation. Basically, everyone would present their own project. Hopefully, it's fun. Based on the number of people here, I would assume that we just merge the project presentation with the final exam review. All right. Another thing we can do is we can push the project after the final exam. I think we did it last semester, last year when I was teaching. Everyone was like, "Hey, I want to take the exam first and finish the project last," and that's okay. So that's an option. Then you submit the report. I'll try to put it as the last day possible. All right. You have 5 late days total. It cannot be used on the project presentation and the report, but you can use it on your assignments. You can use it on your reviews. Okay. This checkpoint basically helped you prepare for the final report. Hopefully, please use LaTeX, or sorry about typo. Please use LaTeX so it's readable. Don't use Microsoft Word. Do it as best as you can. It's a practice for your, like, say, master and PhD thesis. Or you should have the problems you want to solve, motivation, why this is important, prelim data for some survey on previous papers, and the proposed idea of things you want to do. All right. There's no strict format for the proposal and also the report, as long as you answer these 4 bullet points. But try to follow like a proper paper structure, so that it actually has things like introduction, background, motivation, and those sort of things. Okay. Feel free to contact me on writing resources or examples of papers that are written well. I have some in mind that I can share it with you. It also would help as a kind of like a reference writing resource, to be honest, right? On October 23rd to 25th, I will be at a workshop in China. This is not confirmed yet, but there's a high chance I'll actually be away. And then I'll join the micro conference in late October from 28th to the 1st of November. Basically, this means that I'll be away on these 2 days. I'll do a video recording of my lectures and you watch the video. Then we will have a Q&A on Discord after the video to make sure that you understand the topic. All right. So I'll try my best to make sure that these things are handled properly. Right. But I mean, to be honest, we kind of have to mention that, hey, there'll be some weeks that I might not be around. I'll be at a conference or at a workshop, and we'll do this video lecture instead of normal lecture. All right, any questions so far before we dive into what is computer architecture? Now, my question for you, it's been an hour. Should we take a break or should we just keep going? Let's maybe take a 10 minutes break. So usually I try to structure the lecture so that we have a 10 minutes break every hour. So that way you don't die, all right, toward the end of the lecture. So we usually have 2 to 3 breaks depending on where the topic ends. This semester I try to kind of like get the kind of like feedback from last semester and kind of merge some topics so that we don't have this awkward like, okay, this lecture end early, this lecture have way too many things. All right, so let's do a 10 minutes break. We'll be back at 10:10. All right. Let me stop the video. Basically, the way I've structured the video is for each lecture, there'll be multiple videos, and then I'll post them. This will be like lecture 1.1, and then the next video will be lecture 1.2. All right.